I was 35 when I was diagnosed with heart failure. My symptoms started off with, they were quite light at first, just being out of breath, but I was being out of breath in strange times. They got worse and I kept getting different diagnoses from the doctor saying it was stress, depression, anxiety, until eventually I got that bad. They found out that it was heart failure.
I started off with a cough and I just thought it was a general cough, the same as any other person had a cough, but it persisted for around 6 months, and then after nagging by my wife I went to see my GP. By that stage I was already breathless, I was struggling to sleep, I had to sleep propped up, coughing every 10 seconds, so quite severe symptoms that I didn't really realise what the issue was.
I experienced the symptoms for about 4 months before the diagnosis.
The symptoms I experienced before my diagnosis were swollen ankles, breathlessness, fatigue, feeling generally unwell, muscle pains.
I had no idea I was suffering from heart failure. I really did believe that I had a bad cold. Heart failure wasn't in my thoughts at all.
I had chest pain, but I just put it down to a chest infection. I'd had a cold. It never occurred to me that it was something more sinister at that time.
I've never heard of the term heart failure before.
I didn't know what heart failure was. I'd never heard of it, had no knowledge of it at all.
I didn't really understand what it was, and the fact that there's the word failure does strike quite a bit of fear mentally into your thoughts. And you're just not quite sure of the direction you're going to go in to get to a point of managing it or improving.
My diagnosis took 2 years and 8 months from the time I first went to my GP to complain that I was short of breath.
Not at any point when I was seeing my GP did they mention heart failure or even a problem with the heart. The only diagnosis I ever got from my GP was stress, anxiety and depression, and never ever mentioned any kind of heart problems at all. I went to hell. I literally went to hell. It was the worst time of my life. I believed that I was suffering from anxiety, stress and depression, and I think I began to take on those symptoms. I was experiencing panic attacks, and I was so desperate to find out what was wrong, I even spoke to the Samaritans. It got that bad that I was looking for answers.
There's a mental impairment, so you're unsure about what you can do and what you should be doing, and you're having to deal with not only your awareness of what's happening to you and your body, but also the impact it's having on your families. It's almost like they're starting to grieve already before anything has happened, anything serious has happened.
I have a 15-year-old daughter, it's me and her, and she had to see that. She had to see, her mother having to sit up to, sleep and get through the night. That's difficult. That's difficult for a 15-year-old to watch that. And I travel a lot with work, I have an international career, I had to stop working from home initially. This is all during, the prior to diagnosis and trying to carry on and be normal.
I didn't know about the blood test for heart failure at all, no.
I'm not aware of a single test for blood test for heart failure.
I didn't know a simple blood test for heart failure existed, but I do now.
I had no idea that there was a blood test for heart failure, no.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't know there's a blood test. And I'm surprised, to be honest, the hospital didn't give me that blood test either.